Welcome everyone, this is Silvers, casting a game between Barcode representing the Zerg and Inzight representing the Protoss. Now, Barcode is Grandmasters and Inzight is Masters, so this is very high level of play and this game is very long, so I'm very excited to be watching this. Because at the 40-minute mark of any game, who knows what the hell can happen. So I do not know anything about these players, although they are both in very high leagues, and so I'm really interested to see what is coming up here. Now, if you have seen my videos and you do like them, please subscribe and send your replays to the silvercaster032@gmail.com. Now, Inzight has placed his first pylon at the entrance to his base, so he's probably going for an early expansion build, and the Overlord for the Zerg player is moving across the field. And this map is Newkirk City, which this is one of my favorite maps because first of all, it's huge. There are around there's 7 bases on each side, and there's a bottleneck of land in the middle, as well as a large amount of airspace on the lower side of the screen, as well on the lower side of the map, the south side of the map. And so you can have very interesting engagements around this area because there's currently only 2 attack pathways, and you can also battle for control of the skies over this plateau, over this dead space. And it's pretty cool. This building is on maps. I know everyone points that out, but why not? And if I'm playing Protoss, which I do play, I love to build my Stargates over there so I can get my units across here very quickly. We'll see if Inzight decides to do that this game. Now, Barcode has thrown down an early spawning pool. This is probably in response to at this time, at this level of play, there is a probe delaying your natural. We'll see how long he manages to delay here. The drone is on him, he's slowly picking apart the probe's shields, the shields are down, and he manages to drop the hatchery. So that's always good, because in the meantime, Inzight has dropped his Nexus. Now, he didn't build a forge or a gateway at 13, so that's pretty good considering... Well, that's a good way to start. That's the strongest economic over with the Nexus at 17. However, Barcode has built a spawning pool in the meantime, and that spawning pool can build some Zerglings. And now, given the amount of larvae, which he does have 2, he could get a couple Zerglings over here because there's absolutely nothing to defend it. We'll see if he decides to do that. And the probe is moving around, scouting everything. Let's see the type of vision coverage he's got. He manages to see 1 gas in the spawning pool, so he knows there might be an attack on the way, maybe roaches, considering the only 1 spawning pool, or that gas could be going for some sort of early layer. As the Zerglings are out, there's only 2. As you can see, he's only decided to build 2 of them. And it's currently sitting at 18 probes to 16 SCVs. Now, in the meantime, Inzight has built a forge and now a cannon before his gateway, so this is good defense. So Zerglings won't really be able to make it in here. So that's that dropping that Nexus first was not that bad of an idea. The Overlord Scout, however, is going to be able to see everything that is going on, so he's probably not going to attack with the few Zerglings that he has, the Barco has. And so, yeah, it's both macro openers for both the players, so we are going to have a macro game for a bit. As this hatchery is complete, he's transferring the workers, Nexus is complete, so he is a little bit ahead thanks to the delay on his probe. This probe is getting picked up by the Zergling, and he is running for his life. Now, this Zergling is going to have to do a lot of running in order to take this down, because the shields will probably regenerate in between the attacks. Let's see, yep, here we go. So this probe is essentially safe. He's just delaying the Zergling's capabilities of scouting. In the meantime, the Overlords, however, are providing Barcode with some great scouting information. As you can see, he has position 1 over here, and another one is moving out, and another one is moving out as well. So, as you can see, Zergling speed is underway. Now, that's a pretty essential upgrade for any Zergling player, any Zerg player. So, I do not believe that there will be an early Zergling run by. So, as you can see, this wall off right here can hold off pretty much any sort of run by at all. Now, if you're a beginning player and you're watching this, this is kind of what you want to go for, because your cannon is protected by both this gateway and this forge, and 1 Zilla on the hold command will be able to block any sort of Zerglings from running through. You can put them on the hold. Only 2 to 3 Zerglings at a time can attack, so it's kind of what you want your wall to work like. And in all that time, Inzight has thrown down a starport, so we will be building stuff, and a mothership core, probably for some early defense. The starport is complete, and he will be building a phoenix with that. And over on the Zerg side, we have a lair tech underway, but no spore crawlers. Now, he's going to have to respond here by either building more queens or spore crawlers to defend a really bad Horrorclaw harass. However, the Overlord is here, and he is going to be able to scout this just in time. Now, one Phoenix is out, but at least this Overlord, who is bravely sacrificing himself for this scouting information, and is going to die. This Overlord scouting was perfect timing because it enables Barcode to start building some of the fences, and you can see he's responding by building three spore crawlers. Now, spore crawlers are not the best. Sometimes, usually more queens are the answer because the spore crawlers can easily get outranged and microed by the Phoenix. As this Overlord goes down, we know there are at least two. He knew that there were at least two Phoenixes on the field. As you can see, there's three out now, so we probably will see a Phoenix harass. Now he needs to defend this in order to not be hit too hard here, because a good wave of 4 to 5 Phoenixes will be able to wreck his. Will be able to cost him a lot. He's already wasted 250 resources by building these spores. Actually, no, there's one more. So 375. Let's see if they are enough to defend here. As the Phoenixes are gearing up for an attack, there's currently 3. They have some energy, so they will be able to do enough beams to do some damage here. And they are coming in. They are deciding to attack the Overlords. Maybe try for a supply block, but they are doing to the natural. The Spore Crawler holds it off. And so the Phoenixes are gearing up for attack. There's now 4 as another one has joined the fleet. And in production, in the meantime, we have a robotics facility, and a robotics bay going underway. So we will be seeing Colossus most likely. They're coming in. They're picking up the drones, and they are getting a couple of easy kills. Looking at the workers' lost tab, it is so 4-0. 3-0 because there's one Zergling killed. However, the Hydralisks have been built because the Hydralisk den has been finished. There's, however, only a very few number of Hydralisks versus this many Phoenix. They are picking up one Hydralisk, they are taking it down. Here goes the second, and looks like he's going to get the third. And there is another fourth, so he's gotten 4 Hydralisk kills and a couple of drone kills with 4 Phoenixes. Another one has arrived, so it looks like we will be seeing this harass to continue. As a Spire has been dropped for the Zerg player, and here they go. They are picking up a Queen. They will most likely be taking this down. And here goes one Queen. However, there are more Hydralisks spawning for the Zerg player, as he's currently building none at the time. He has built these 2. He hopes he can defend, but these are probably going to be taken off. There is now another Hydralisk down, as these Phoenixes are out of beams. However, another has arrived, and it has enough for 1 beam. We'll see if he can make it count. This attack is really paying off for Inzight right now. As you can see, he's way ahead in the resources lost tab. However, he's not paying attention to these Phoenixes, and one does go down. We'll see if he can get the next one. And looks like Inzight is pulling back off the attack with 5 Phoenixes. So that was a pretty successful harass. Barcode has managed to hold on here with just a couple Hydralisks, Spores, and Queens. However, that attack did set him back quite a bit. He is 600 resources behind, and there is actually an observer getting useless scouting information over here. The Phoenixes do continue to pick off Overlords, so they are clearing up his map control as well. As we can see, the Zerg player is very high. He is very far ahead in his economy. So although that attack did substantial damage to his economy and his production, we'll see if it's enough here, because he's working on 3 bases while his opponent is currently only. Well, the Zerg is working on 3 bases while his opponent is currently starting his 3rd. They pick up the Queen, and it manages to go down. Here goes the Hydralisk as well. These Phoenix in mass can easily clean up these Hydralisks. He's actually not enabling them to pick up any time. The Mutalisks, however, are here, and they are going to be destroyed, because Phoenixes, when properly microed, will kill like an infinite amount of Mutalisks, considering they are faster. Now, the Mutalisks have a move speed of 4, and the Phoenix have a 4.25. That is pretty crucial to remember when playing Protoss, so you can kite. We'll see if he decides to go in. This would not be a smart idea in any situation. Phoenixes are continuing to do a great job of denying the Zerg any aggressive movements, because these Phoenixes as we are seeing here, are doing a lot of damage. Now, the Protoss, in the meantime, has started his upgrades on air and ground, and he has built Colossus. As you can see, there was a robotics facility built. And while the Zerg has built the Spire, as we've seen the Mutalisks, he is currently working on level 2 attack. He's deciding to go with more Hydralisks, and an infestation pit is underway. So we will see if we will have any Swarm hosts or infestors or anything like that, or is he just getting that for the upgrade on his lair. Alright, so far a pretty exciting game. We have a lot of harassment going on by the Protoss player, as he looks like he's actually gearing up for another attack with his Phoenixes. He's currently building 6, and I'm wondering if he's going to follow this up with more Sky Toss, or is going for the standard Deathfall army, because we do have a fair number of gateways and robo facilities, as well as Stargates, so he can go in any path here, as well as his tech goes. But in the meantime, Barcode has built some Swarm Hosts and is getting the upgrade for them. So a Swarm Host, he's going to probably try for a Swarm Host Contain on the Protoss player, try to kill him here, because he does have a better economy considering his 4th has been built. So we'll see if this pays off. However, these Phoenixes are doing a great job of continuing to damage him. However, there's just enough Hydras and Mutalisks on the field to prevent this attack. So it looks like the unit composition for the Protoss player is Colossus and Phoenix, while it's going against Hydras, Mutalisks, and Swarm Hosts. So this will be interesting, because the Phoenix can clear up all those Mutalisks, but the Swarm Host can do a number on the ground forces. Now, the Mutalisk in the mech might be able to turn it in the Zerg's Flare, however we will see what they decide to go for tech options later in this fight. As the Phoenixes are engaging, he was not paying attention, he will lose 2 of them, as the Mutalisk and Hydra army retreat. And the Barcode has thrown down a 5th expansion, while the 4th is going down for Protoss, for Inzight, so he is doing a good job of keeping up in the Incon. As you can see, the Resources Lost tab, he, however, is still behind, but looking at the Spending tab, he is ahead. So right now, even though that Harass is doing its job, he has actually spent more and has a higher economy. So this game is probably about even, I would say. I'm not sure. It could go either way, considering it's, you know, it's this. They're both the players are approaching maxed out. They are in large mass micro. It's going to come down to micro at this point, and unit composition, as these units can destroy these Mutalisks. The Phoenix have just picked up a ton of easy Mutalisks, because they're, however, engaging these Hydras and Corruptors. They pick up the Hydras. They are doing substantial damage. However, the Corruptors are heavily armored and are not going down. Will this amount of forces be able to take this many Phoenixes? I'm not sure here. As he did drop a couple spines, they aren't going to, however, help him here. The Phoenixes are on the pursuit. Here they go. They are attacking the Mutas. He does spot that Swarm Host, so he might be able to prepare for it. The Mutalisks are going down, as the micro by this player is incredible. He will easily be able to take out this many Hydras, as there is no more anti-air on their way. He picks up the Hydras. The Corruptors have fallen, and the last Hydra has halved down. So once again, these Phoenixes are proving quite the nuisance, and here comes more Hydras to defend this, and the Phoenixes aren't going down. He still has a large number. However, he is forced to retreat, as 2 of them have no shields and very little HP. 7 kills on this Phoenix, but 12 HP. These are definitely doing their job here, as they are creating more havoc. See, that is a lot of resources lost for the Zerg, but however, in the Spending tab, he has vastly ahead. So they are probably looking about eaming as far as the army composition is going. And for that army composition, we have Hydralisks, a lot of Swarm Hosts now, and Corruptors, versus a lot of Phoenix, some Zealots, and 4 Colossus. The Colossus being built are going to help defend against these Swarm Hosts, but who knows? Barcode might decide to build more Corruptors at some point and start taking out the Colossus. But the Phoenixes are still proving to be a nuisance, as they are moving in for another attack. They are going in. There is, however, a lot of Hydralisks here, and these are probably going to be forced to select, as he does. And I won't believe he's lost any Phoenix, but here he goes. He just lost 2. So I believe these Phoenixes have served their utility, unless Barcode decides to build any more Mutalisks. But however, he is maxed out. He does have a large bank going, and Insight is approaching maxed out, considering he has 3,000 minerals and 1,000 gas. So he probably will be maxed out very soon. And for the production tab, as you can see, he's working on Zealot Legs, he's working on Warp Prism, the 3+3 attack, +2 ground for the Zerg is almost done. He's transitioning into Ultralisks, so we'll see if he actually gets a couple of those out there real soon. In the meantime, Inzight is responding by building a Templar's Archive, currently for the structures, because at this point in the matchup, the Protoss player is going to need to remax after a fight. As you can see, there are 17 larvae. There are 17 larvae for the Zerg player, which that number is just going to rise at this point as he's able to remax. However, there is an engagement going under where the Phoenixes have microed and are taking out all the Corruptors. Now, these Hydralisks have no chance of catching these Phoenix, because they are the fastest unit in the game, and they are moving over for some more harass on this 4th base. There's only 1 spore to defend this. However, the Hydralisks are coming over to engage it. I believe that has put the Zerg player a little bit farther behind in resources, considering he's just lost a little more. However, these Phoenixes are out of position, and most of them go down. That is good. A small victory for Barcode, as you're able to finally kill off all those phoenixes, and it does even up the resources lost tab a little bit. So, but once again, that could be freeing up some more supply. However, Inzight doesn't have much under production. He has transferred in DTs and High Templar. So we'll see. He's probably going for Archons, maybe some harass on the bases. However, the Colossus count is staggering. He has 8 Colossus, so any plays by these Swarm hosts will probably shut down because the Colossus AoE attack will just annihilate the Swarm hosts. And he's pretty much looking at High Templars and Colossus at this point for his units. He has a Warp Prism, which will probably be doing some harass as it is moving out, and a lot of Zealots. So a hard air by the Zerg could counter this army. We'll see what happens as the Protoss is moving out. He's going against Hydralisk, he's going against Swarmos, he's going against Corruptors. They take out the Zerglings at the Watchtower. Notice this Warp Prism down on the bottom right hand side of the map. It is actually moving out for an attack, so he's going for a multi-pronged attack here. Insight is trying to make some plays as he is maxed out. However, both opponents have a large bank. The Zerg player has 36 larvae, so we will be able to remax as the fight is going on. So this is hit here. Both armies are pretty even. The attack at the main base is all DTs. The Warp Prism has died, however. Actually, no, it's flying back. The DTs are actually just focusing down the hive. However, the Spore Crawler is going to spot these, and these Spine Crawlers are just going to clean it up. Now that was another mine victory and will probably even up the unit loss tab. Actually, it does, very dangerously close, but remember, Barcode has farmed a large amount. And taking a look at the upgrades, the 3-3 is almost done for the Zerg, and the 3-3 for the Protoss as well. Blink is underway, so we are about to have a major engagement here. Take a look at the units tab and just watch the units fall as the Swarm hosts are burrowed out in the Colossus. The Storm is thrown down to help clean up these Swarm hosts, and this army could come around for the flank and try to take out all these Colossus. That's what they're doing, and that's exactly what's happening. The Corruptors are in pursuit. A Stoomborn's down, and lots of Hydralisks are picked off here. So, and as Insight decides to pull back, he goes to clear off the Watchtower. However, the Zerg is moving in. The High Templars are out of position. They probably will be taken out here. As the Storm goes down, it takes off some damage. It's doing a lot of damage to these Hydralisks as Molten are forced to retreat, and he does actually lose quite a lot of Hydralisks. But once again, he is maxed out again. They both have a very large bank. So we are probably going to be seeing a lot of back and forth action at this point. There is a drop going down in Barcode's main base. Once again, it is Zealots and DTs, and these Zealots are proving very effective against these Spine Crawlers. However, the army is here and we'll probably be able to take this off. We'll see if the layer falls. It is almost dead. 2 hits. 1 hit. It is gone. And so Barcode has just lost his main base. I'm not sure if he has another layer under production. He's actually warping in right now. That's actually not going to be too bad considering he has built almost all, actually I believe all of the tech structures for the Zerg player. If he doesn't get creeped down here soon, these will die except for a Roach Warren. He has Roach and Banelings. So both players have pretty much teched into every single tree in this game. And it is still going on. These Swarm hosts do have the upgrades and they are moving out. Looks like they're just waypointing into nothing. As in the meantime, Insight with his excess money is throwing down a lot of cannons. So that is what you want to do when you have this much money, is throw down tons of production. As we can see, we have 6 robo facilities and 4 Stargates for the Protoss. There is a minor engagement going on between the units that were left at the Watchtower. They are cleaned up as the Zerg player is moving out. He's going straight Swarm hosts and Corruptors with a few Hydras moved in. And the Zerg player has 37 larva stockpiled. So here we go. Here is another attack. This by finally Barcode actually being able to go on the offensive in this game, considering he has had to deal with the constant harassment by Inzight. So this is the first time he can actually get a crack at the unit base. Taking at the unit's loss tab, however, it is even, and they are approaching even on the income tab. They both have 1 base not being built. So the Swarm hosts have spawned, they are moving. However, there's a ton of cannons with Colossus. Let's see if these Swarm hosts can induce any free damage here. And this wave is almost dead with a long more to go. There's 10 seconds left on the Swarm host, so this Zerg army may be in trouble, and there is 1 Archulus mixed in. I'm not sure if that 1 Archulus is going to be able to do anything here. He has 5 armor, but still. There is an attack of 3 Zerglings going on at that base being built up in the top left corner. So these Colossus are proving invaluable against this many Swarm hosts. However, there have been Void Raids mixed into this army, so Those can take out the Corruptors, and the Swarm Hosts are slowly whittling down its defenses as several cannons have died, which is going to even up the unit loss tab and actually put Barcode in the lead at this point. The Swarm Hosts have spawned. He's actually moving out with his Corruptors and his Hydralisk. He's going for an aggressive attack here. A Storm is thrown down. It's kind of a miss. Another Storm misses. The Locusts are taking out these Photon Cannons, and the Zerg player is still maxed out, as well as the Protoss. This is a good old-fashioned Swarm Host siege we're seeing going on here. This base may fall considering there's a fresh wave of Locusts inbound. The Locusts are focusing down a pylon, and we'll see. The Colossus are going to town on these Locusts. However, a really nice Storm has hit the Corruptors that are bunched. Another Storm goes down. The Hydralisks are falling. A lot of Corruptors are falling. Taking a look at the supply tab, however, and the Zerg has remasked once again. Let's see what he's building in response. He's building more Corruptors. He's deciding to answer to the Void Rays by more Corruptors. Let's see if a hard counter can beat. Let's see if a unit can beat its hard counter by building a lot of them, as he does have 16 Corruptors. So that is a lot of Corruptors versus 5 Void Rays and Storms. So if those Corruptors can gain air superiority in these engagements, they will be able to destroy the Colossus Death Ball that we have, and the Swarm Host will be able to be more effective. And these Swarm Hosts are in position to start taking out his opponent's expansion, and this expansion will fall easily to these fully upgraded Locusts, and they are now going to town on these cannons. These probes are in the wrong place at the wrong time, as there are 3, and these Swarm Hosts have managed to do it. They have cleaned up the Expo. They have cleaned off this Expo with ease, and these Swarm Hosts are off the chains right now, creating a problem for Inzight. However, the army has arrived, and these Colossus are going to focus down these Locusts before they can do any damage, and they are getting into the position. However, the Zerg responds by throwing in his Corruptors. They are just actually jockeying for position. The Colossus get a massive amount of damage on those Corruptors. However, there are Storms down. The Hydras are in the wrong position. They are going to fall. However, he does move the Corruptors in, and I believe these Corruptors might be able to take out this many Void Rays, and the Templars are almost out of mana, and Insight responds by building a lot of Stalkers. They will probably be able to clean this up. However, all the Void Rays have fallen. The Swarm Hosts are now getting lasered down, and there's Corruptors. They are most likely going to retreat here, as Barcode has just lost his entire Swarm Host Swarm. So, in the meantime, we do have some D-Hero harass going on at Barcode's most exposed base, and these D2s are going to be able to clean that up. So, that was a fairly even trade. Actually, no. Barcode lost most of his army. However, he does have a lot of Larva stockpiled, and he'll have a lot of banks, so he will be able to be at Remax very soon. However, this army composition for the Protoss is looking very powerful, as it's now just it's essentially Colossus and High Templars with the DT harass going down. Now these DTs are going to finally be cleaned up, so that was a base for a base. However, the Nexus is done here, while the hatchery is not done here. So. And the Zerg still hasn't expanded to his last base, so that's actually going to put him a little bit behind in the economy. Or yeah, as the Protoss player has soared ahead because of the mining out of the Zerg. Now he really should get that third base up and running now or fairly soon, because that is just going to put him further and further behind. He has spawned some Ultralisks in the meantime, and he is producing more Hydralisks and Corruptors. Let's see if he can finally do it here and break this unit composition. These Ultralisks might be able to do a lot of damage up close to these Corruptors. However, there are Zealots and Stalkers on the main line as the engagement is producing. The Stalkers are lining the front. However, the Ultralisks are going in from the side. A Storm goes down. These Chargers are going to get picked off. The Ultras they're whittling down this Death Ball. The Corruptors are destroying all the Colossus. Does he have enough here, as most of the ground units have fallen? There is a ton of Corruptors, and they have destroyed almost all of these Colossus, as there are only 4 left, and the Protoss is forced to retreat here as the Mist Stutter Step is coming in. He is being chased by a lot of Colossus and Hydras. The Corruptors are probably going to be picked off here, and in the production tab there's actually no production going on for Insight, so this would be the moment. However, he has warped in a Stalker line with Blink, and they are going to be doing lots of damage to these Corruptors, but the Corruptors can barely make it away. As you can see the army values, that was a really great engagement for Barcode. He has actually managed to pull ahead in supply, and they're around tied in the unit loss tab at this point. So in the meantime, though, his opponent has gotten up his next base, but once again these 2 bases are still not used. However, the Nexus is going down here, and the Zerg player is kind of running out of money here. Like, his first 1, 2, 3 bases are almost gone, so right now his 4 bases are almost gone. So he has essentially 1 mining base And so yeah, his economy is not looking great at this time. It is pretty far behind. So this Nexus will be built. He should realize he should kind of take this base. I know I mentioned that several times, but that's something he needs to do. While Barcode has thrown Broodlords into the mix with his current army comp, which has been mostly Corruptors Hydras at this point, and the Corruptors are working on their armor and attack upgrades, as 3-3 is also underway, as well as the attack for the ground melee on the Zerg. And for the Protoss, I believe he has all upgrades except for +3 shields and +3 shields and air armor. So the Zerg is moving out for an attack of pretty much every unit you can have that's upper tier for the Zerg player. There is Ultralists, there is Broodlords. They might prove formidable to this Protoss opponent. He is sticking towards the static defenses as his newly building base is being sieged by Broodlord. Will they be enough? If you look at the units tab, it is Hydralists, Corruptors, Broodlords, Ultralists, and a couple Infestors versus Colossus and Mortar of Sentries. Yeah, there's no sentries actually, which is pretty much everything you can have for both these armies. This is quite the diversification. So many units, I can't actually list them all off in an appropriate manner. So Inzight has actually expanded to his last base. However, unfortunately, his newly built one is being taken down while the Zerg is working on his next hatchery. The map is actually kind of running out of minerals at this point on the Zerg side. We'll see if that comes into a play, because if you look at the spending tab, he has spent vastly more in his army, and the unit loss tab, they're around even. So he has mined more, but he is losing money he's losing save money essentially. He only has around 2 or 3 bases at this point. However, there is an engagement about to happen. The Ultralists are moving in. The Void Rays are going to be focusing down these Broodlords. However, they switch to the Corruptors. There's a lot of Broodlords. They might be formidable for these Corruptors. The Ultralists, however, are in melee range. They are destroying everything that is on the ground. There is, however, an Immortal tucked back out here doing substantial damage. More storms are thrown down on the entirety of the Zerg's army. However, there is tons of Broodlords and Corruptors to deal with it. There's only 3 Void Rays left. If he can finish off these Void Rays, he might have a chance that he has no more anti-air left except for these Hydras. These Void Rays need to die here if he's going to make anything happen. The Ultralists are continuing to destroy everything on the ground. However, there is no reinforcements being underway. And in the production tab, however, he is spending that money on Corruptors and Infestors, so he's going to transition into Corruptors and Infestors as the majority of his army is picked off. However, for the Protoss, that was also a substantial attack. He has lost the majority of his forces, while the Zerg has spent all of his money, though. So he has a huge bank, and we'll see if those 35,000 can actually get him ahead in the supply tab. And Barcode's complaining about a skilled race. I'm not sure what that means. He's actually complaining about the storms. So I believe that was all the money our Zerg has, and he is currently falling actually behind in supply because he has run out of money in his bank. So we'll see what happens in the next few minutes if he can mass up an army to compete with this formidable Protoss opponent. As he is pressing the attack, it is a good mix of Zealots, Void Rays. 1 Colossus has survived. I believe this Colossus has been here for a while. Yes, he has 21 kills. He is now an Executor. And he is following it up with more High Templars. So these storms, this Storm Micro has proved off very effective in these engagements. In the last battle, he was able to cover almost all of his opponent with his storms. So this has been a pretty back and forth battle since both the players have gotten to the late game stage and are maxed out. He has decided to go Infestors, Broodlords, and Corruptors. This is a good old-fashioned Wings of Liberty build. This was actually dubbed the unstoppable combination for the Zerg. He has moved up some spines for some more formidable defense up here. Remember at the beginning of this cast, I actually said, like, this is what I love about this map, is this right here. It's the bottleneck. This is where pretty much all the action has been happening. Now he has actually moved in to claim this territory as his own. So it's kind of like Stalingrad going on. As the money is running out, we'll see what the players can make of the money they have left and the units they have, as they have both reached maxed out once again. They have no more resources to build. There is a drop going on down at the opponent, the Zerg's base. However, he has units here to defend this. There is no Overseer, as they are streaming in now. This hatchery will be saved just in time. And the Protoss decide to practically attack these spine crawlers are going to buy enough time as the army is out of position. These Investors have nothing to support them except for these Broodlords. The Broodlords are sending in Broodlings from the side. However, these Broodlords are now exposed. Let's see if Inzight can exploit this. However, he is getting flanked by the Hydras and Corruptors. Another storm is going down. The Hydras are falling. There's a ton of Void Rays to counter these Corruptors, as they can do nothing to these. And the Infestors have been pulled back, I believe. No, they have fallen. The Broodlords, however, are going to town. However, the Zerg has no more anti-air except for a handful of Hydras, and these Broodlords are probably going to be picked off as they're still out of position. The Zealots have made it into this base and have killed off all the drones. However, he is deciding to press the attack with these Ultralisks and Hydras. They are intercepted by these Immortals and managed to take down one Ultralisk. Wow, so that was very unfavorable for Barcode. This could be it here, as he does have a small bank. The constant harassment and Insight is essentially unscathed by this battle because he has a large bank, a lot of production. So the game is now favoring Insight, the Protoss player, as he has finally managed to pull substantially ahead at the 40-minute mark. We will see what happens in the next few minutes, as we might have a conclusion to this epic game. So, pretty fun stuff that is going on here. However, these Void Rays and this Colossus, these Void Rays and these Templars are proving quite powerful in this late game stage, as the only thing Barcode has done to supplement that is go more Corruptors. However, they are countered by the Void Rays. Now, and the problem with his situation is the really only good anti-air he has besides that, and there's a drop going down at this base, and it will fall. There has been another Warp Prison attack, as these Zealots have taken off one of Barcode's last remaining mineable bases, as most of them are mined out. The main army for the Protoss is moving in for the kill, as his units are, as the Zerg's army is out of position. We'll see if they decide to go for this hatchery or just go press straight for the attack, as his army is looking very formidable. It is stronger than his opponent. We might see a GG here, as there's not enough of the Zerg to defend this. The Void Rays have destroyed all the anti-air once again. The Colossus have granted ground superiority. The Ultralisks do fall, and I believe this is it. If you look at the supply tab, almost all of Barcode's supply is in drones at this point, and his opponent does have a large army. He complains by just calling the Protoss another new race. So that is some rage by Barcode, and there you have it. He leaves the game. Inzight decides to stay. However, that was a great game we have here. It's incredibly long, multi-staged game with tons of action going on at all times. So it looks like he decided to stay in the game, so I will continue talking. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed this cast of Silver casting Barcode versus Inzight. Barcode's Grandmaster, Inzight was Masters, so this is a small upset. However, we did see a lot of action. The Phoenix early proved powerful for Inzight and managed to keep the Zerg from moving out early. And but however, the Barcode did come back at some point with the good unit composition. So once again, my name is Silver. Thank you for watching. Send your replays to the silvercaster032@gmail.com, and thanks for tuning in. You guys go out there and get your game on.